Now, I'd like to talk about my pyramid of value concept, which helps you decide on the best place to sell different items. Not every item sells well on every marketplace. There are certain marketplaces where certain items do well, and then there are certain marketplaces where that same exact item will do horribly. So you need to know the difference in the different marketplaces, and you need to place the correct items in the correct marketplaces. So that's what we're going to talk about here in this session. And this is an introductory session before we get into detail on each one of these different levels. So at the very top of the pyramid, the very top level, we have what I call rare, high value antiques and collectibles. These are items that are very hard to find, very unusual, very unique, and happen to also be in very high demand. So these items are at the top of the pyramid. These are really the best of the best items, the items that are going to give you the highest profit. And by the way, I teach exactly how to find these extremely high profit items in another one of my courses. The next level is collectibles and new in box. This would be anything that is collectible but not quite in the rare category, not quite way up there in the high value collectibles category. This would also include things that are not necessarily collectible, but are still new in the box. In other words, brand new merchandise that's still in the package. So these are some really good products to sell, but you're going to want to sell them in a completely different marketplace than you do the rare high value antiques and collectibles. Next, we have the large high value collectibles and large new in box. By large, I mean they're bigger than the average items. They're a little bit harder to ship, and it may not actually make any sense to sell them online in a marketplace where you've got to ship the item. There are certain items that are just cumbersome and difficult to ship, and it ends up kind of affecting your economies of time when you have to package and ship items, and that takes up a lot of your time. So there are these types of items, again, we're going to get into full-blown detail on this, where it just may not make sense to ship them. So you're going to want to find a different marketplace, a more localized marketplace for these types of items. And then you've got large common items. Okay, right here in the middle of the pyramid, large items that are fairly common. There's nothing unusual or very rare about them. Those you're going to sell in a completely different marketplace. Then as we start moving towards the bottom of the pyramid, we have common items valued at $15 or more, and common items valued at $15 or less. I specifically made this $15 separation because that's going to determine whether you put it in Marketplace A or Marketplace B. So each one of these has, by the way, its own unique marketplace where that item is going to sell the best or sell for less effort on your part. Part of what you want to do when you're running your business is determine, is this worth the time / hassle / effort to sell? And if it's not, then you may not want to buy it because it may not be worth your time to either ship the item, package the item, or whatnot. Now, if you're able to charge additional handling fees, in order to pay for the time that it takes to package the item and ship it, then that's okay. But make sure that you're always conscious of your time and that you're always conscious of the best, absolute best place that you can market each individual item. So that's what we're going to talk about here. Let's go into a little bit more detail now with the value pyramid. You're going to want to sort your household items in priority order using this list. The rare high value antiques and collectibles that we just talked about. Then the next section is collectibles and new in box. Then large high value collectibles and large new in box. And then the more common items, but they're still large, so they're still bulky, kind of hard to ship. And then common items valued at $15 or more, and common items valued at $15 or less. So in the next lectures, let's take a look at each one of these and what is the perfect marketplace to list and sell each one of these individually.